Hello, friends. This is Mrs. Dennis, and I have our intro to our read aloud today and our story, The Wind in the Willows. We are on chapter 10. Can you believe it? We are at chapter 10 of our story. All right, so you know that when we do our read aloud, we always start with vocabulary. So here we go. Deprive, to keep something from someone or to take away. Deprive. So when you keep food away from someone, you can deprive someone of food. Or if you keep water away from someone, you deprive them of water. Or you can deprive them of snacks. Fate. Fate means destiny. The power that, according to some people's beliefs, decides what happens in the future. Right? Your fate. Right? It's what's going to happen in the future. Occupant, a person or thing that inhabits or lives in a particular place. So you are an occupant of your home. You live in your home, so you are an occupant of your home. Revenge, the act of getting back at someone for something harmful or unpleasant done to them. Vengeance. Have you ever known someone to try to get revenge on someone? Maybe someone played a prank on you. And you want to revenge on them for playing a prank on you. So you're going to play one back. Right? Revenge. Solitary. Lone. The only one. Isolated. So solitary is just one. One solitary thing. Just one. Unrestrainedly. It means uncontrollably or extravagantly. So like uncontrollable laughter is laughing unrestrainedly. Friends, our word for today is deprived. So deprive means to remove or keep away from. And in today's read aloud, you're going to hear that the barge woman did not want to deprive washerwoman Toad of the treats of doing laundry. That means that she did not want to keep that treat away, or she did not want to keep anything away from Toad. So I want you to repeat after me. Say deprive. Good. Say it again. Deprive. Good. So if you deprive people or things of something, you remove it or you keep it away from them. So if you deprive some plants of necessary sunlight, then they will die, right? If you remove plants from sunlight, they will die. Has anyone ever done something to deprive you of something? Right? Can you use that in a sentence? I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, my dad would deprive me of sugary candies. Right? That means he would keep the sugary candies away from me. Right? That is deprive. Or I can say, make it in the past tense. I was once deprived of candy. Right? So that means if I add an ED to the end of, if I add a D to the end of deprive, DEPRIVED, that means it happened in the past. Okay? So that is our word for today. You are going to hear deprived in the story. And when you hear it, you will know that it means to remove or keep away from. I know. There it is again. We are still thinking about fame. I know. And I said it. I said we're going to keep talking about it, and then we're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to keep talking about it. And here we are at chapter 10, and we are still thinking about fame. So, just as a reminder, the theme of a story is the message, lesson, or moral the author wants you to learn. Right? What did the author want us to think about? And then how and where does it show up in the story? Right? Every chapter that we've read so far has a theme. Some of them are the same. Some of them are not. Right? So we talked about common themes: courage, perseverance, honesty, good versus evil, kindness, acceptance, cooperation, loyalty. Right? Loyalty comes up in the story. Friendship comes up in the story. Love and compassion. So when you're listening, what stays with you? When you're listening, how do the characters grow or change? Right? What themes have we had so far in the Wind in the Willows chapters? We've had, oh friends, let me move this so you can see the whole thing. Oops. We've had friendship, responsibility, loyalty, irresponsibility, hospitality, right? These are some of the themes that we've heard so far. And there is many examples of these themes throughout the chapters of the book. I mean, there are many of them. You can find multiple examples throughout the entire story. But in the previous lesson, we learned that more about the theme of irresponsibility, right? And more specifically, we learned that Toad was the cause of most of the irresponsibility. But who knows what word is an antonym or opposite for irresponsibility? Well, let's talk about what an antonym is, okay? Two words that have the opposite meaning: hot, cold, wet, dry, little or big, hard or soft, rough or smooth, day and night, on and off, in and out, up and down. Can you think of any more? Left and right. Yeah. Inside, outside. Yeah. So those are antonyms. So if irresponsibility is a word, what's an antonym or the opposite for irresponsibility? That's right, it's responsibility. So let's have a question. Do you think Toad is responsible or irresponsible? What do you think about Toad? Yeah, I'm going to say that Toad is irresponsible. Now, would you also say that possibly Toad is a part of that saying? Remember that one rotten apple spoils the whole barrel? Do you think that we can use that to describe Toad a little bit? Do you think that Toad's actions make everyone look bad? All of his friends? Do you think that? It's a possibility. You know, do you think it's true for Toad that he's the rotten apple and he gives all bad animals a bad name? That's a possibility. So, where were we at the end of chapter 9? I want you to go back and I want you to think about that. At the end of chapter 9, where were we? What was happening? Oh, that's right. Mr. Toad put on a disguise and he escaped from the dungeon. He escaped from jail and he hopped on a train trying to get away. Right? Oh, disguise. What is a disguise? Oh, friends, a disguise is a costume you put on so that you can try to hide who you are. Right? A disguise is a costume that hides who you are. So is there a situation where you think a disguise will be helpful or harmful? Okay. Let's think about Toad for a second. What do you think of Toad's disguise? Do you think it was harmful or helpful to Toad and others? So let's think about the people that he encountered or that he will encounter with his disguise on. I mean, he's trying to hide who he is. So do you think that's a good reason to have a disguise anyway? I don't think so. I think his disguise is harmful to people because when he has that disguise on, he's not being truthful. He's not telling the truth. And remember, we want to always be truthful, right? So let's make a prediction, okay? Toad has fooled many people, right? Do you think he will continue to fool people? Yes or no? And remember, friends, when you make a prediction, it's not right or wrong, right? We're just guessing what we think will happen in the future, or what we think is going to happen in the next chapter. So, do you think he will continue to fool people? Do you think he will gain a sense of responsibility, or do you think he will continue to be irresponsible? That's the part that we need to think about, okay? So as you listen to chapter 10, right? Because we do the read aloud first, and then we listen to the chapter. Do you think he will become more responsible? Do you think he will continue to fool people? Think about that. That's all for now.